The man of your dreams could be in this mail order catalog. That's mail as in M-A-L-E. This is definitely a new system. How to find Mr. Right. It's called the Bachelor Book, and it features 50 bachelors who come from all walks of life. Computer analysts, stockbrokers, doctors, lawyers, corporate accountants, and sales executives can all be found in this magazine. The Bachelor Book is published in Florida, and since so many Canadians vacation in Florida, they decided to devote a special edition featuring 15 Canadian bachelors. And over the past few weeks, our producers have spoken to countless eligible men from across Canada, and today you'll meet the 15 we chose. Now, only one of these 15 Canadian men will end up on the cover of the special edition, and our studio audience will have the very difficult task of choosing who that someone will be. But before we get into all that, let's meet the creator, editor, and publisher of the Bachelor Book, Mindy Rudin, and she's brought along 3 bachelors from Florida who've appeared in her magazine, Mark Kirk, Gary Samira, and Mark Sirota. And in just a few minutes, we'll find out how their love lives changed since they appeared in the magazine. Mindy, this is a very unique way to find a man. I mean, there's been personal ads, dating clubs, but something like this, I don't know, is there anything out there in the market like this? No. There was an Alaskan magazine. And they filed Chapter 11, so they don't exist anymore. They don't exist anymore. But you think yours is going to be successful? I think so, because Alaska was, a difficult place to get a woman to come up to. They all wore flannel shirts. They looked like Grizzly Adams, and they all worked on a pipeline, so it was kind of hard to get people to stay in Alaska. Well, what about the men in your magazine? I said they come from all walks of life, but how do they approach you? Do they write you a letter? How do they contact you? And how do you weed out the weirdos? Well, we have gone through a lot of screening processes, and actually, from doing so many shows in our country, we have men from all over the country writing letters. We have their mothers writing letters why they should be in the book, and essentially what we do is once we get a gentleman that we think it will fit our criteria, and our criteria is very different than a lot of people would think. It's not what these men look like as the reason we chose them. It's how nice a person they are, and how real they are, and how truly interested they are in a relationship with a woman. So this isn't like Chippendales or Playgirl or anything like that? No. We do have a wee bit of skin. I saw. That's it. There's only a couple, though. A lot of the men are in suits and are casually dressed, but there were a couple of swimsuits in there with a lot of bulging going on. Right. But the one that you saw that you're talking about, he's on the cover of our second edition, and the man is such a nice person. We chose him to be on the cover because he was not only physically beautiful, he was a beautiful person. Has anyone met anyone because of the magazine? A lot of people have met people. Everybody is dating. The magazine is new. It came out the first edition came out in June. And actually, everybody...
For me, personally, it's been really a great vehicle. I've met quite a few really nice, attractive women who are professional women. I've gotten terrific letters from women all over the country, actually. But there's been quite a few women I've met from Florida. There's a couple that I'm dating right now. And there's a few that we've developed nice friendships also. Are you interested in Canadian women? Because, we come to Florida a lot. Most definitely. Most definitely. So can women from Canada write to you if they're interested in these 3 American bachelors? They're here. Yeah, actually, I got 2 letters from 2 Canadian women just last week, ironically enough. All right, let's talk about the men who are in your magazine. I said they're everything from lawyers to doctors. They're from 21 to 69. There are a lot of very different types of people. We have from bartenders to CEOs. We have very, very diverse group of men. All right, now when you get letters, all of you, do you go through the letters and weed out the ones you don't want? Or how do you contact the women who write you?
I don't think that we necessarily weed them out. I know that we all write back or call them or respond to them whatever way we can to make sure that they feel like they didn't do something foolish or they didn't, go out on a limb for nothing. So
you kind of find that, especially when somebody takes the time to write you a letter, and they put a little bit of it into it when they write it, you in a sense feel in a friendly way obligated to call them back or write back and say, and say, hey, I appreciate you writing me a letter. So I missed that.
A lot of women are sending pictures of themselves, and I think that's a great idea. Being a photographer, I can, appreciate that. but we've been getting some pretty wild photos at times, and if you really want us to write back,
coming in, or
yeah, because that like we can't call back fast enough.
Now let me ask you, you seem like three very nice men, and you don't seem to be the kind of men, I mean, there's a perception, let's face it, that the kind of men who put ads in newspapers and go to dating services are losers, you know, and that's why and vice versa for women. I'm not saying, I hear someone's going in the background here, but it's true. And I have women friends who'd never answer a personal ad or go to a dating service.
But these men were chosen. They didn't, no money changes hands.
No, let me continue, sorry. So, since you look like nice guys, and like the kind of guys who wouldn't have trouble finding a date, why did you do this?
Well, I know for me personally, I have my own company. I'm very busy. I don't have a lot of time to go out and meet women. I don't like going to bars. After working all week, I don't want to go into a bar and work to try to meet a woman. And when I got approached by Mindy to be in the magazine, I thought it was a terrific idea. I spoke to Mindy. I realized it was a quality publication. And so I went with it. And it's really turned out to be greater than my expectations. It's really been a wonderful vehicle.
I mean, it's actually, I think anybody who can get the opportunity to do it, personally, I go after anything in life that seems interesting. And I think that if you have the opportunity to do something like this, there's nothing to be afraid of, you know. And if some people think, well, you're this or you're that, those people don't really matter to begin with.
If they asked you to appear in a swimsuit, would you have done it?
I'll tell you, for me,
because we didn't ask.
no, you know,
And we didn't use it. He looks so much nicer in this suit.
Let's say, He looks better in a suit?
He looks wonderful.
He looks better with his clothes on than off?
He's got a wonderful physique, but we thought he was very attractive in a suit.
Well, why have any men in a swimsuit at all? Why not just see them in casual attire
Well, that
or a
was our
suit?
bonus swimsuit issue. So,
Oh, that's a bonus swimsuit issue. So you won't have... I mean, I'm being sort of serious here because that's the only part of your magazine that I've seen a couple of yours that I really objected to because I don't believe in the objectification of men or women. And I don't think that the human form should be, you know, how beautiful we are as men or women should be the focus of what we want from a man or a woman. I think that's part of the problem that many men and women face is that they want a package. They want her to be blonde. They want her to be so tall. They want him to be tall, dark, and handsome. So if we could get away from that, maybe we could find something meaningful in a relationship. So why bother with the swimsuits?
well, what we did was, if you look at the swimsuit issue, there are very few in swimsuits alone. Very few. Most of them have casual shorts or tops that are slightly open. We did it because every other part of the country in your country is engulfed in winter, and we thought, well, we shot it in Florida by the beaches, and it was just a nice time.
It was really a chance to do
Much
something
less
different.
Okay, let me ask you why you came up with this idea and how.
Same reason you said. That I have a lot of single girlfriends that are always complaining they can't find a nice guy. That's the buzzword. I can't find a nice guy. And so many were complaining. And through my company, I published other magazines. I kept meeting wonderful, nice guys. And we decided on a lark that we'd put it together. Alaska Men had done it. And we'd see if we couldn't improve on a product. We take a nice photograph of the men, we don't embellish it, and we have veteran writers with bylines to their credit that do a bio. So we thought our magazine would have more of a chance.
Are you married, Mindy?
I am.
Okay, so you're not looking for a nice guy through the magazine or
No.
anything? Okay, these, if any of your nice guys meet someone, will they be in the magazine, the wedding picture, the culmination of what your magazine has done for them?
We'd love to have that.
That might be a neat idea. Okay, tell me what you're looking for in a woman.
I'm taking that as being directed towards me.
Yes.
Okay. I think there's a very number of things I look for in a woman. I look for sincerity. I look for a good sense of humor. I look for attractiveness. I look for somebody that's adventuresome, that can go with me to places I want to go and be spontaneous. I look for somebody to have fun with. Somebody to
What do you
enjoy
think
time.
is your best quality? Why would a woman want to be interested in you?
Give me a chance to toot my horn. Huh?
Yeah, sure, why not? I'm not going to ask you what your worst quality is, so.
I know, and I've been thinking of that since you... I'd say one of my best qualities is my ability to communicate, to get somebody to talk about themselves, to be to be themselves and not put on any facades. That seems to be a nice quality that I have.
Okay, if you could change anything about yourself, what would it be?
I don't know, Mark, what do you think?
Probably
to be a good friend, I'll ask him.
Thanks, bud. Probably I'd probably not want to be single anymore. That's why I got involved in the first place, and if I could
You
change
want to get
that.
married?
Yeah.
All of you?
Yeah, I would like to get married one day, certainly.
One day. Don't you love it? I know that one day story.
No.
It's always one day. Down the road.
If I met
Those are the lines.
somebody,
In
I
the
have
future,
no
down the
time
road is
limit.
one day.
No time limit. If
No
I met
time
the right
limit.
person and it happened
And
tomorrow,
Mark
I
Hurd,
would do it
you
tomorrow.
never told me what your worst quality is. I'm not letting you off the hook.
I was seriously sitting here thinking of that, and it seems like if I think that I have a bad quality, I honestly try to change it. So at this moment, I can't come up with a really bad quality. I'm sorry.
I'm going to take a break and be back to the hook. We're just curious over here what you guys all do for a living.
I guess I'll start over on this end. I run an industrial packaging equipment company. I'm a general contractor also.
And?
I have a commercial real estate company, and I also have an estate liquidation company.
And I'm a fashion photographer.
All right. Now, the three of you are all in your 30s. I think you're the youngest, right? You're in your 20s.
I'm 27.
27. So let's go through your ages here. 27.
39, 34.
Okay. Let me ask you, because I did ask Mark Hurd, let me ask Mark Sirota what it is that you're looking for in a relationship.
Well, see, I've had a problem in the past because my career takes me to a lot of different places, and it's hard to keep up a relationship and have somebody know that they can be, they can trust you. I'm looking for somebody that really is kind of secure with themselves and knows that if you say, I love you, and I don't, I never will cheat on you and stuff like that, that they'll believe you and stick by you. So I think
Why do you think women have a problem with that?
Well, for me, I travel usually with models, and personally, I'm really not that attracted to women that are 5'11", so I don't think it should be. I'm only 5'7", so it's real difficult to dance with them.
Does anyone want to tell them how tall I am?
No offense.
5'11", but good stuff.
That's twice. But I think that if I found somebody...
It's funny, I'm glad you raised that, because it's a strange thing, because my husband is shorter than I am. And it's never bothered him at all. Why is it that because you're 5'7", you would care that a woman's taller?
Well, don't get me wrong. I've dated women that were...
No, really. I don't mean to put you on the defensive, but why should it matter to you if I'm taller than you, if you like
It doesn't. It's just that there seems to be more jealousy from a woman that I'm dating when I travel with models, and I just don't usually chase after models. I mean, I've never dated anybody that I work with. I make it a policy. I don't want that to affect my reputation in any way. And I think you're very attractive, and your husband's a lucky man.
Good comeback.
Thank you.
All right, now, Gary, what is it you want from a relationship?
I'm looking for somebody who I can really develop a close relationship with, someone who allows me to be who I am in that relationship, and also someone who's willing to be themselves with me, someone who's willing to take that risk and be open. And I really like to find someone who can really be my best friend.
That's nice, your best friend. Now, Mark, you were in the magazine just a few weeks ago, right?
Right.
So has it had an impact? Have you had a lot of letters?
Not yet. It came out, I assume, about a week ago it hit the newsstands. I have received some letters. We happen to be on another show, and I received some letters from that. And but as of yet, nothing.
Are we talking hundreds, thousands, or just like
I think on an individual basis, I think most of the other fellows have gotten, say, 25 letters, 20 letters, somewhere in that realm, that area.
Is that all?
I don't know.
Actually, the cover
I
model
think you
got...
deserve more letters than that. How many did you get, Gary?
I've gotten about 40, 50 letters.
Yeah, and the cover guy on our first issue got over 100 letters, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Up to 150.
So they just write directly to you or to the magazine?
They write directly to the gentleman. We don't screen their letters at all. But you raised a good point. Why do they get so few letters? Because I think women are basically shy, and they tend not to. They'll see a guy that they might be interested in, and they'll say, "Oh, well, I don't want to write. He'll never write back to me." That's really a very defeatist attitude. We say if you don't enter, you can't win, and if nothing ventured, nothing gained.
All right, how did you choose? How do you choose these men? What's the criteria?
The criteria is basically how nice a person they are, how much they're really interested in a relationship. We're not interested in putting men in a magazine that are just out for a good time. We're interested in putting men in a magazine that really have an interest in finding a relationship. So we quiz them on a lot of things. We ask them about their family, we ask them about great evenings. We just try to determine through all the different questions, are they
Okay,
really
you know
into
what I
it?
did like as well? You let people know whether they were ever married, like never married, divorced. And you had one, there was a photograph of a father and his son, his 9-year-old son. I really liked that because many of us are into, second relationships, and we have children from our first marriage, and they come with us. They're part of the package. And so it was really great that you had the father and son, and that in many of the interviews with the men who were married and have children, they talk about their children, which I thought was
Because
great.
it is a big part of their
Have
life.
any of you been married before?
Yeah, I was married once.
Any kids?
No.
2 kids. Okay, when you're looking for Ms. Right, in terms of your children, what kind of woman do you want?
In terms of the children speaking, normally the women that I've been involved with have a very warm, kind heart, and it seems to go along with, having a mothering type attitude. But my children don't live with me, so it certainly makes a difference, on them as far as not having my children in the house at all times.
But you do have them on the weekends.
Oh, yeah, I have them on the weekends, yes.
So that's an important part of the relationship.
Absolutely, yeah.
In terms of the kids. Now, did you have to pay to get in the magazine?
No.
Not at all?
No.
So
No,
it was just,
absolutely
and
not.
then did you select everybody?
They're chosen. Yeah, well, I have a staff of people that select the magazine. We have hundreds of women that say they'd work for the magazine for nothing. So we have kind of a...
Okay, now how many here in the audience would like to be on that committee? Just right, yeah, right. Let me ask you about the special edition you're putting out, your Canadian issue, so to speak. I guess because so many Canadians go down to Florida, I think we're your #1 tourist down there. We all seem to flock there in the winter. They call it the snowbirds, I think, down there. Is that the reason? Matter of fact, that edition, are you ready for this? It's called Baby, It's Cold Outside. Especially for us. How perfect. Is that why you decided to do edition for Canadians?
No, actually, I just think that what we're trying to do is expand everybody's horizons. And I think that Canada is so close that the proximity of having a relationship with someone in the States is not out of the question. So we just thought it was a good place to start. The special section, we're doing one a month. We're going to do Men from LA. So every edition will have a special place that we come and visit and pick out the best of the best.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break in just a moment, but before we do, and then we're going to meet 15 Canadian bachelors, and we'll choose the one who will be on the cover of that special edition that Mindy is doing for March. But before we do that, I just want to tell all you women out there who might be interested in these 3 bachelors from Florida that this is Mark Kirk, Gary Sandler, and Mark Sirota. So if you want to write to them, please do so. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Wherever we go, whatever we do, we're gonna go through it together.
Every morning I have to be well rested and alert. So if I occasionally have trouble sleeping, I take Sleepy's D. It helps me get a good night's sleep, and by morning the sedative effect is gone.
Sleep Easy, here tonight, gone tomorrow.
A new owner throws journalistic integrity out the window
Try to imagine how little I care.
when he tries to manufacture the news. ENG on CTV Thursday.
The Shirley Show producers and Mindy Rudin have had a really tough job selecting 15 Canadian bachelors for Baby, It's Cold Outside, the special March issue of the Bachelor book. But that's not all, because today our studio audience will vote for the Bachelor who will appear on the cover of that special edition. And we're going to meet Canada's most eligible men in just a moment. But someone was asking me before I introduced them all how we selected the 15 bachelors we're about to meet. So just before we meet them all, how did we? I wasn't part of the selection process. So how did our producers and you do this?
We put a little teaser in one of the newspapers that we were looking for Canada's most eligible, and a lot of these men phoned in, and then a lot of these men were also sent in by people that thought they fit the bill of a nice guy. So then we had mountains of applications.
There were countless. It took our producer Kenny Kazau ages to talk to them and go through them. So, and you two, it's a tough job, but somebody has to do it, right? Okay, let's meet our first bachelor, Michael Burns Jr. He's 32 years old, never been married, and a photographer, right? John Derringer, 29, he's never been married, and is a radio personality on Toronto's radio station Q107. Next is Timothy McClarty. Tim is 32 years old and has never been married, and he's an audio producer. We'll find out what that is in a moment. And Neil Gertzbein, and he's 37, and he's a salesman for a watch manufacturer. And Randall LaFleur is 39. He's never been married, and he's a real estate agent. So, wait, none of you have ever been married? Oh, except for you. How long were you married?
3 years.
3 years?
Yes.
Any children?
No children.
Okay. Now, I'm going to start with you, Randy. Because, I'll tell you why I'm starting with Randy. Because Randy was late today. Yeah. Everybody showed up on time but you, Randy. And I'm just wondering, are you predisposed to this kind of thing? Are you always late for dates, late for everything?
The best part of negotiation is you never start with your worst quality. I would say timeliness is a problem, but it was business.
Oh, it was business.
Yes,
okay, so that's why you were late.
Yes.
But did you say timeliness is? Oh, I love that. Timeliness is a problem. In other words, you're late for everything. Now, what is your best quality?
now that we've established that,
Yeah.
I suspect that my best quality would be versatility, being able to enjoy a number of different ideas, concepts, walks of life.
And what are you looking for in a woman?
What am I looking for in a woman?
Yeah.
I think the most difficult thing in establishing a relationship or finding the right lady in your life is to find a person who enjoys being themselves and also loves you for who you are, not for what they're going to mold you into.
Do you want a woman who will accept you, just as you are, late and all?
I think that pretty well says it all, too, yeah. And that goes in return, that when you find somebody that you care about, you accept them for who they are, you admire them for the qualities that they have, and you don't really try to mold them into something else that they're not going to become anyway.
Okay, now when you all decided, when you called the Shirley Show and you decided you wanted to be a part of all of this and be in Mindy's Bachelor book, I'm wondering why you did it. Anybody?
I did it like that, but I wouldn't do it. I did it. I'm glad I did. It's a lot of fun.
Your friend bet you that you wouldn't?
That's right. And I did.
And here you are.
I'm happy.
Okay. How about you?
I thought it was probably an exciting way to meet people for a change. As an alternative to the bar scene and one thing and another, I thought it would be interesting.
Is everybody sick of the bar scene? Because I don't know. I walk by the bars sometimes and they're packed with people, so we can't all be tired of the bar scene.
Actually, one thing that Randy said that I think is pretty important, certainly is for me, and I know for a lot of my friends, I would suspect for a lot of the guys here, is that when it comes to somebody being themselves, is that within the bar scene, and certainly whenever you meet anybody for the first time, you're trying to be perfect, and they're trying to be perfect. And somewhere down the road, those imperfections slip in, and you realize this was not the person you went out with the first time. I find it helps me to just be myself right off the top. And they know I'm an idiot. I don't have anything to prove. I have a reputation to live down to. There you go.
Who else thinks you're an idiot on the panel? Just speak up.
Just John. I have a reputation to live down to.
Now, are you all glad you took part in all of this? Well, let me ask you. You think it does? We were talking about this just in the break about the confusion. There seems to be a lot of confusion between men and women. Men say they don't know what women want, and women say they don't know what men want. Do you agree with that?
I think the problem is that a lot of people won't talk openly and won't say what they really mean. They just say things just to say them.
Well, I'll tell you what my women friends tell me. They tell me how men don't want relationships. They talk about the fact that they want relationships, but at the end of the day, they don't. They don't want to make commitments, long-term commitments. You heard in our first segment, Gary said, I want to get married one day.
Well,
But he corrected himself. But, I mean, truthfully.
I think that philosophically there's a prerequisite to being in a relationship, and that is that you admire and respect somebody. And I think that out there it's difficult to find, if you're an energetic, dynamic personality striving to do better for yourself, you have to find somebody who's in a similar stream.
And that's the difficult part. And that's what we overcome with a bio, by telling people in depth what these people are looking for, so that you have more of a chance. When he gets a letter, we're not going to, someone is not going to write him that is a couch potato, because in his bio, I mean, this man does everything. So a woman is not going to respond to him that would never, participate in these activities.
Okay, so if you see yourself in 10 years' time, these are for the women out there, on a beach in Maui selling ice cream, then Michael Burns is for you. Is that how? Because right now you're a photographer.
Correct.
And that's what you're doing right now. But that's how, and you love to ski and sail and fish.
Sure, I'd probably like to liquidate everything in about 10 years and just say to hell with it and, go down to the beach, and that'd suit me just fine. No, personally.
And how about you, John?
Well,
where would you like to go with the woman of your dreams?
well, that's a pretty tough question. Is airfare included?
Yeah,
I'm not that cheap. Just kidding. Let's see.
Yeah, the check's in the mail, right? Sure.
I'm particularly fond of Jamaica, actually. If you're talking about going somewhere, if you're talking about going to a play or something, in town, there's just so much going on as far as nightlife goes, and I do avoid the bar scene as best as possible, particularly when there's really no reason to go. But there's just so much going on in a city like Toronto that I find that there's so many things to do.
Well, what are you going to bring to this relationship?
As I mentioned, bad credit rating and a lime green 72 Gremlin. But hey, I own 3 other AMC products.
I tell you. Now, what about Timothy? Timothy, you've been very quiet up there. You're a broadcaster and an audio producer. What is an audio producer?
Audio producer produces audio. Actually, I have a small studio downtown, and basically I do voiceover for audio-visual and the odd low-budget radio commercial. We do some syndicated programming. On occasion, I have a movie show that's carried in 4 markets. It's just basically a daily 90-second thing that talks about film, and we run audio clips.
Okay, let's just go down. We know. Wendy, what did you say you do?
What do I do?
Oh, yes, you're in real estate.
Real estate,
right?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Did we hear from everybody?
If I confess up to my worst quality, I'm extremely messy. I wanted to tell you that.
Okay.
I'm a messy guy. There you go.
All right. Neil, what's your worst quality?
I can't relax.
Timothy, what's yours?
Very impatient.
You are?
Yep.
All right. Like to change that about yourself?
I haven't got time.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Randy? Wait, no, not yet. Let's not go to break yet. I want to hear from
you already know.
Oh, I know you're late all the time. As long as you're on time for the wedding one day, that'll be fine. Okay, and finally to you.
I've got about 200 pounds of bad problems right now. So.
You think you're overweight?
No,
I don't. I think you look great.
Probably, I'm really picky clean and one thing and another, and that drives a lot of people. I'm the opposite of John right here.
Don't move in
John
together.
and I could never live together.
No, we'll be back in a moment with 5 more eligible Canadian men.
Introducing new Baby Steps diapers from Huggies. Diapers designed to fit better as your growing baby graduates from size to size. Baby Steps 1 folds away from your newborn.
Book. And in it, there's about 50 eligible bachelors from all over. And they're going to have a special edition. Here, let me get you a special edition for Canadian men. And today we are meeting 15 of these Canadian men. We've met 5 already, and here's 5 more eligible Canadian bachelors. I'll go right across here, starting with Peter Carmos. He's 39, never been married. He's an MPP who got himself into a lot of hot water.
Listen,
look at that innocent face. Oh, sure.
I worked
Sunshine
real hard.
boy.
I worked real hard at doing it.
I know.
I was a sunshine boy. I got fired. Prince Charles was a sunshine boy. The Queen wasn't even mad.
I know, isn't it? I tell you, life is not fair.
I tell you.
Now, tell them what you used to do before you got fired.
I was a minister, a member of the Premier's cabinet here in the province of Ontario. So
That's
maybe
right.
It was a mixed blessing.
Who knows? But then you were a sunshine boy in the Toronto Sun.
I was a sunshine
For those of you
boy.
across the country who can get the Sun newspaper, they have a sunshine boy, I think, in every edition, right?
But I learned something that
Did you have your clothes on or off?
Of course they were on.
You were just wearing a suit?
I learned something that a lot of people have known for a long time. You spend too long in the sun, you're liable to get burned.
Oh. Anyway, we'll be back to the bad boy of politics in just a moment. And now let's go to, you've never been married, right?
Never.
We'll see if we can change that. David Anthony,
Hello.
he's 25. You're a writer, an entrepreneur. You also have never been married. For all the women who are always saying to me, all the nice guys are married, look what we've seen already and met here. Some very nice guys who are not married. Now, who's next? Oh, Richard Jolliffe. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, close enough.
Well, how is it then? We want to do...
It's Jolliffe, okay?
Jolliffe.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to be precise.
You've never been married. You're a money broker.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever that is. What is that?
Money market broking, Canadian T-bills.
T-bills?
Between the, Treasury bills,
So
T-bills.
you trade in money?
No, I broke the money. I just broke. I'm an intermediary for the banks.
Okay. And now I understand, don't you? All right, next. Michael Siegel, 43. You're divorced and you're a chartered accountant. But you're an exciting chartered accountant.
No question.
Not like my ex-husband. Oh. All right, so, and you're divorced. You have children?
One right there.
Where? Oh, here she is. That's yours. Come on. Your dad's right here looking for... Okay. What's your name? Ashley. Now, how do you feel about your dad on national television? He's going to be in this magazine. All 15 of the bachelors will be in the magazine, but only one will be on the cover. So what do you think about this?
I think it's a great joke.
Well, he could win, you know. He could be on the cover, and all kinds of women will write him letters. Are you okay about that?
Yeah, I think it's great.
Are you going to vote for him?
Sure.
You got one vote. You're okay. Thank you, Ashley.
Guaranteed
Okay.
vote.
And then we've got Joe Battaglia, 50, divorced, and a paralegal, right?
Right.
Let's start with you, Peter. Okay, what is it? I mean, how come you're not married?
Well, because I'm single, right? Well, I'm just a small town person from Welland, which is in the heart of the Niagara Peninsula, and it's as nice a place as any as you could find in Canada or even North America. And I've been working real hard. I've been practicing law and then trying to be a politician. I'm trying to do my best, but the occasional premier gets in my way. But so far, things have been going reasonably good. And maybe this is the big break, huh? My mother, who's watching now, I mean, she's on pins and needles, because she knows that if I'm on that front cover, okay, we're talking grandchildren in 12 months, huh?
He has no shame, you know? All right. Don't break Peter's mother's heart. Vote for him. Is that it?
Yeah.
When you want to meet the woman of your dreams, where is it that you go?
You go to work, you go to church, you go to the supermarket. Sometimes, sometimes you find them working with you in the political arena or fighting that new no-fault auto insurance bill. There's all sorts of places where you find, there's all sorts of places where you find good women.
Where is it that you're looking when you're...
Well, I haven't been looking in the last year. I was involved in a relationship for a little while, And she told me in no uncertain terms that I had a lot of work to do on myself before I was good for anybody. She says, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that.
Tell us what this and that is.
Well, at the time, this was about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, I complained too much instead of taking action and getting it done. And what else was it? Also, a lot of it was the complaining. And
but you changed?
Well, I said if I ever want to commit to a relationship, I have to.
There he goes. If I ever want to. These two.
No, I'm just sure.
Not when I want to.
No, I meant if I'm going to be good for somebody, I better work a lot harder on myself than I have been, and maybe make a little bit more of a contribution to a relationship than what I was doing. And there was a lot of.
I think that's a very positive attitude. Now you have a degree in English. And you're a writer, and you own your own carpet cleaning company.
I do.
Okay. And you're doing all right.
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much.
Great.
You want to come and clean my carpets on the weekend?
All right. Now, Richard.
Yep.
Well, tell us. Who are you looking for? What's she like?
I don't really know. I'm not really out there looking for anybody at the moment, you know. If something comes
along. So how come you're on this program?
Well, it's something that's obviously going to progress in the future. I'm still very young.
How young are you again?
24. That's the children section.
Did you bring these women with you?
I don't know where they came from.
All right, so what is it you are? I mean, when you go out with women, what kind of women do you like to go out with?
I don't go out a lot with women. My job entails that I go out a lot with the accounts after work, which is really tough, I must tell you. All the nice restaurants, the bars.